Good afternoon. It's Friday once again, and that Friday comes almost every time after Thursday and just before Saturday. And if you're looking for the Ask Welfare Rights broadcast, you found us once again. My name is Maureen Taylor. I work with the Michigan Welfare Rights Organization, and my colleague Marion Kramer, the chairperson of the National Union, the National Welfare Rights Union, is going to give you an official welcome. So, Marion, say hello.
Always. We're happy to be here and to be able to participate in this program at this lovely station. We're asking you to participate tonight because you got to begin to participate here, Maureen, in order for you to get out here and participate with us in the streets and what have you, and fighting for a new society for our children. You want to call in at 868-0342 or 868-0351 and 868-4336. All those numbers begin in the beginning or in the 313 area.
Mm-hmm.
The website is www.tv33whpr.com. If you cannot get us on TV, open up your computer and get us. You remember that when you come to the phone, please have your pencil and paper ready. Don't have us sitting up here
Oh, yeah.
trying to figure out what we are waiting on you to do. So welcome. Again, we're happy to be here with Henry. That's always taking care of us when he's around.
And even now.
Now,
Okay. All right. We have to make a slight adjustment. And,
on me.
oh,
So
okay.
I have
So I
to
should
announce it all over again.
push it over there. No, just push that microphone out the way because maybe he can't hear you. So we're making a slight technical adjustment.
I don't want you to fall down.
I'm not going to fall down. Just push that one out the way and talk in this one. There you go.
Right here. Can you hear me, Mr. Tyler?
All right.
Should I have to go over the information? Okay, again, welcome to the program and to this wonderful station. We always happy to be here and we want you to participate. Don't sit back and think that we can bring you everything. And when you come to the phone, bring your pencil and paper because you might gaze upon what information we gave you and have something to add to it. You must call in at 868-0342, 868-0351, or 868-4336. If you cannot get us on your TV, then call. Look, you can get us on on the website. It's www.tv33whpr.com. All right, Maureen, it's good to be here.
All right. Now, we just got finished with an election. And this was a primary election, and all the time it's the same thing. What needs to happen, all these different candidates that are running, it's always angst involved or whatnot. And so you and I talked about this earlier today. And I thought we might look at, some of the voting patterns for places in and around Detroit so we kind of get a handle on what's going on. And of course, the first one on the top, Marion, and what it tells is the number of precincts reported in all of Wayne County, 761 precincts. All of them counted by day number 2, and that's Kathy Garrett. She runs that bad boy down there. All right.
And that's out of 761.
761 precincts. All of them have, 100% results.
Mm-hmm.
744,834 registered voters in that county.
In the
744,000.
metropolitan area.
No,
Right.
in Wayne County.
Yeah, Wayne County.
Yeah.
Okay.
108,000 of those 744,000 cast a vote, which turns into 14.6%.
Well,
That's how many that voted in Wayne County.
well, somebody might be taking it at 108,975. You got your glasses on?
I can see that, but I'm saying
Uh-huh.
that figure, 108,975, is 14.6% of
Yeah.
744,000. Talking about my glasses, you better go over there
I'm
and clean
looking at
yours.
mine's a
All right,
clean, clean,
14%. All right, then let's go 1, 2, 3. Let's go to that fourth page that says Mayor, City of Detroit.
All right.
590 precincts voting already. And of those precincts, if you go over here to where it says total, 467,000. That's how many they say are registered to vote. 467,000. Of those, 65,000 voted, which turns into just about 13.9%. 13.9%. I was thinking, boy, those are some low figures. Now, we come back to this page. But, Marion, go to the next page. Mayor of the city of Dearborn. 22.5% of those who could vote in Dearborn voted. All right, go to the next page. Here's Hamtramck. 26% of the people that are registered to vote in Hamtramck for the mayor of Hamtramck, that's who voted. Still 75% of the people don't participate in this. And you have to start, asking the question,
Yeah, look at Dearborn Heights.
Oh, Dearborn Heights. 16.6% of the folks that are registered to vote in Dearborn Heights voted. Okay?
And then here's
What's this last one?
the city of Dearborn.
Okay, but let's go back to the mayor. Page number 4. Look at all these candidates. Tricia Bomer did page 4. Angelo Brown. Angelo is a perennial candidate. Edward Dean, Mike Duggan, Curtis Christopher Green, Donna Marie Pitts, Danetta Simpson, Coleman Alexander Young II, and all together, what does it say? 35,000, just under 36,000 people cast a vote for the mayor. And in the end, it still turns out to be just under 14%. The incumbent, Mike Duggan, got 43,000 votes, which is just under, look right here.
I didn't see his. Oh, I see him now.
Yeah. 43,000, just over 43,000 votes were cast. Okay. Absentee ballots and those that were cast there. And he got 69% of the ballot. And Coleman Young got 27% of all of the votes that were cast. Now let's entertain
I
this
don't believe
question.
that.
I believe it. Calling
No,
you
I
on the air.
don't believe
Thank you for waiting, and thank you for calling Ask Welfare Rights.
I'm not saying.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, good afternoon.
Hard to hear you.
I wanted to talk about the problem that I had at the polls on primary day, and I'm wondering if anybody else had that problem.
Okay.
I went to the poll to vote and was told that I couldn't vote. And
Now, what does that mean? You
wrong
went
that
there
day.
and you went to register, and somebody told you couldn't vote?
no, I was already registered.
No. I'm talking about you go to the table and you have to pick up that little registration piece of paper. You
No,
know,
I just went to the building on Grand Boulevard and was trying to vote and was turned away and told that I could not vote there on that day.
all right, now we're trying to figure out, make certain we understand what you're saying. You went to the elections office on the boulevard.
right.
Is that what you're saying?
That's right.
Okay, and why couldn't you vote?
Well, they said that voting had ended the day before. They said voting had ended the day before, and that I was not allowed to vote.
What
and
day
there
did
was
you
really
go?
no one there, so they said I had to go to my actual polling place to vote.
Did you get the name of the person that told you that?
I did not. I know who she is, but no, I did not get their name. No.
Okay,
No.
that should be reported because you can vote at the elections office even on election day.
that's right.
That's what I thought. That's
Yeah.
what I thought. But I was just wondering if anybody else had that problem, because during the actual election, if that's going to happen,
For
I mean,
sure.
what am I supposed to do?
Well, now I'm glad you're saying it, and we'll ask others who are hearing and listening to you if that happened to
Thank you.
anyone else. But you can cast your vote on election day at the election office. So We're hearing that now. We'll ask if that happened to anyone else.
Thank you.
All right now.
Thank you for calling in.
All right, Marion, let's go back to this mayor again of Detroit.
I'm on that.
All right, so all of the other candidates combined were not able to get at least 1% of the vote. None of the rest of the candidates. And there are a lot of people on this list. What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 other names on this list beside the 2 top vote getters. And Marion, are you aware of any of these people who were running for mayor who worked in the water campaign or the housing campaign or the eviction campaign or anything that anybody has been doing for the last 4 years?
Well, we've seen Coleman A. Young.
I'm talking about those, not those 2.
I'm not talking about him and Dugan. I'm not talking about Dugan.
I'm talking about those other 7.
No, I've never seen him.
All right, well, I don't know. All right, so I'm moving on to the Dearborn, and then here
And,
comes the
and
Hamtramck.
remember, the only kind of water that the present mayor of Detroit gets on with, and that's shutting off.
Well, I say he's been working in the water campaign diligently.
Yeah, to shut it
to
off.
shut it off. All righty, and now
to privatize
it. If you go to the clerk page,
Oh, well, let me go to that.
okay, and says Clerk City of
Yep.
Detroit.
Oh, okay, so that's Hamtramck.
Yeah,
That's
pass
Dearborn.
Hamtramck.
Dearborn.
Keep passing. Keep going.
Hamtramck.
Keep going.
Dearborn Heights.
Keep going. Should be 2 more.
Wow.
Is that it right
that's
there?
it.
Clerk. Now, votes cast. 400 and, no, I'm reading too fast. 467,000 people are registered to vote. 65,000 voted. Okay? And the person that got the most votes, 13,000, just under 14,000, is the incumbent, Janice Winfrey.
Isn't that something?
And the person that got the next highest vote count was a person by the name of Garland Gilchrist. Now, I saw his name
I've never
several
seen it.
times. I don't know who that is. Never heard of him before. And I'm just wondering how he was able to jettison his numbers so high over Hester Wheeler and over Deetta Wilcoxon, who have been out here
For
you know,
years.
for a long time. So I don't know that name, and maybe one of our viewers will call in, give us a little history about Garland Gilchrist, but I'd never heard that name before. So with the absentee ballots and on election day, he was able to garner 12,300 votes to just under 19%. But that still registered into 13.9% of the people that voted. So that tells me that whoever voted in the mayoral race, they also marked something for clerk as well. Now it starts to get difficult. Next page.
Council at large.
City council. You could vote for 2. All right, so you see what the numbers are, and across the board, all the way at the top across, still 13.9%. So everybody that voted for mayor, everybody that voted for clerk, also voted for council at large. And the 2 candidates there are Brenda Jones, the incumbent, 45% of the vote. And the next one is the new lady, Janie Ayers, who got 25%. She's the newest city council member that was voted by special election a couple of years ago. You know, she's not been in office so long.
I haven't been
you know.
down there in a while.
She hasn't been there for a full term. But she got 25.29%, and Brenda got 45%. The next highest candidate was Mary Waters. Remember State Rep Mary Waters? She got 16%, and you know, a person I just have so much respect and love for, Beverly Kendall Walker. 6% of the vote. All right? Now, at the bottom of that list, Miriam, look how many unresolved write-ins were cast. On election day,
400.
absentee ballots, 549 write-in candidates couldn't be counted anywhere because their names were not on the list. All right, here comes the Dearborn Council, still 22%. City of Detroit Council members, 26%. Dearborn Heights, you get to the Dearborn Heights, and it says council members. Are you on that page yet?
No, my pages got stuck.
All right, Dearborn Heights at the top, right there.
Mm-hmm.
Says you can vote for 4. Now look at the votes cast.
Mm-hmm.
That went down. Only 16% of the folks that are registered to vote voted for council members.
And they
So
could
they're
vote for
already
4.
frustrated and stuff, so they didn't come out. They did not vote. They had a percentage in the mayoral election, but the votes went down by the time they got to council.
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking at this list. Where's the one that got the most? That would be 13, right here. And that's Denise Malinowski Maxwell. I don't know if she was the incumbent or not because I don't follow that one. But she got 13.8% of the vote that was cast in Dearborn Heights. I know a lady by the name of Denise Maxwell, and I wonder if it's her.
Well,
I don't know.
It's not the same person you and I met out there in there.
I don't think so.
Uh-uh.
Next page is city council members,
At
Westland.
Westland.
Look at the percentage of voters, Marion.
12.36%.
That's it. That's all that came
And they
out to
said,
vote.
They always want to talk about Detroit and Highland Park.
It's not
and
true.
It's not true. Look at the people, how many people have gone down on voting now.
You know, okay, now go to the next page.
They don't have no confidence.
Well, no. The voting numbers are going down. Now go to the next page. Here's the shocker. Taylor, Michigan. Look across the top, Marion.
8.33%, Maureen.
Of all of the folks that could vote, only a little bit more than 8% voted for council members.
And the thing about it, the total amount of
Boy.
voters is
Well, you know,
44,711.
Small city, but only 8% of the people that could vote voted. Not interested in this. Didn't have a candidate of choice. Not interested at all. All right, go to the next page. That's 8%. You saw that. City council. Here's district number 1. And this is the district that Councilman Tate, he carried this district. 15.28% of all the people that could vote in that district voted. He got higher numbers than the mayoral candidates. Okay, and I don't know the other.
Tate was a person we
He's
went
the
up.
candidate.
I know
I mean,
it.
he's the incumbent. I mean.
He never did support us on anything we went before him on.
Okay, then look at the next page. This is district number 2. All righty, the
Burgess.
incumbent here was George Cushenberry.
Yeah.
And 17, I think that's one of the highest figures. 17% of the people that could vote in District 2 came out to vote, and he was tossed out. And 19%. Now the
Linda
candidate,
Bernard, let's see, Linda Bernard got
9%. All right, but the candidate that won in District 2 is Roy McAllister. Remember Roy?
No.
If you haven't seen him in a while, Roy McAllister won that seat with 25% of the vote. The next highest vote getter was Virgil Smith.
How could that be, Maureen? The man just got out of prison.
He Virgil Smith knocked George Cushenberry out. Because if Virgil had not have run, George Cushenberry probably would have come in second, and you know the top 2 vote getters move ahead. Cushenberry is out. He doesn't have a law license anymore, so I don't know. All right, so the candidates there are Roy, okay, and Virgil Smith.
And
He's
that's-
got the second highest vote.
Whoa,
signed
let's
the
see how
docu-
that's gonna break out.
I thought he signed a document that said since he was being released early,
They were talking about that.
that he was not going to run for any seats for the time being. So I don't know, something about the people urged him to vote. I don't know what that means. But here's some of these other names, and nobody knows who these folks are because you don't get to see them. All right, District 3, The incumbent in District 3 was Scott Benson. Scott Benson is the young man that gets to the traffic light and closes his eyes and passes out. Couple times that's happened. So he's the incumbent. Now, he came in first place, 56% of the vote, but one of the candidates that we like, Russ Ballant, came in second. And Cedric Banks, I don't know that name. Dennis Green, I don't know that name. And Alan Mundy. These other folks came in, but Russ came in number 2. Those going to be the 2 that's going to be in the runoff.
Right.
Now here is District 4, 12%. The incumbent here is Reverend Spivey. Alrighty, and Reverend Spivey comes in with 58% of the vote. Somebody by the name of Letitia Johnson is going to be the second candidate to run in that election
At
because she's number
25%.
2. Go down to the bottom and you can see the unresolved write-in candidates, you know, and Guvu and some of the other folks were running, but, you know, it's just too hard to do it. And then here's district number 6, the incumbent, Raquel Castaneda Lopez, 59% of the vote. And the runner-up is Tyrone Carter. Don't know who that is, but Tyrone got 33%. 12% of the people that could vote in that district cast that vote. And then the last page here talks about the district number 7. The incumbent is Gabe Leland. And Gabe came in at 59%. And the next highest runner-up is Regina Ross, who's run several times. And she comes in at 24%. But look, Marion, only 11% of the people that could vote in that district did that vote. The next page talks about this is Huron School District millage proposal. How many said yes? How many said no? They said yes. 74% of the people that live in that school district voted for a proposal that said, yes, we want to support a millage, 12%. This next one is Romulus millage, school millage. Who voted yes, who voted no? In Romulus, look what they said. No. 1,100 said no, 58% said we're not for it, we're not supporting the millage. 41% said we will. And here goes the Romulus Sinking Fund.
Oh, yes.
The Romulus Sinking Fund. Are you willing to put some money up for water-related funds and pipes and all this kind of stuff? And the people in Romulus said no.
I don't blame
64% said we're not interested. 10% of the folks that could vote did. 64% said no. 35% said yes. Grosse Pointe Public Safety.
I think that one
They
passed.
said yes. We are willing to put some money aside to do better with our public safety, but it just barely got in.
Yeah.
53 to 46. But wait, Marion, on that last page, look at the percentage of the people that voted in Grosse Pointe.
31.32%.
That's the highest of anybody. You know? 31% is higher than anybody that we read, but that's still not good.
And you see what they voted for compared to everybody else.
Well, you know, still not a good situation. So now the question comes up about voting. And in this event that you and I and Welfare Rights and others of us are involved in, this moral revival, the Moral Mondays event that's coming up in a couple of weeks, we've been asked to make certain that there is a voter registration table. And, you know,
Who asked
we got people that want to make certain that there's a voter registration table that's there. That's not our issue. We got lots of people that are registered to vote in every city, in every district. You saw the huge number of people that are registered to vote. That's not it. You know, the fight is not to register people to vote. It's to get people to go to the polls to vote. And you know, that's a different issue. So, we'll ask folks that are listening, what do you think? Why? I mean, I heard the clerk, Janice Winfrey, start talking about the low voter turnout that she expected. In Flint, Marion, they expected a low voter turnout in Flint. And then they gave reasons why they thought that was, and that's because it was in August. Primary's always in August. What are you talking about? It was warm that day.
And a lot of people, wait a minute, a lot
I
of
don't
people, when you
stand.
talk to them about, say, are you going to vote during the primary, they say, no, I think the most important thing is the end result.
General.
Come on now. If we want to get some of the folks that we want in there, it's key for you go to the primary.
Well, we've
I
been talking
understand,
about that,
but I,
though.
I,
Why
I
don't they
understand.
listen?
I understand, Maureen. People are so engaged in this mess that is going on around us, and I'm so sick of downtown Detroit. I don't know what to do. You know, a lot of folks say, Mary, why don't you come downtown? I said, no, thank you. I don't want to go. I get tired of the traffic. I get tired of the folks thinking that those that come into the city thinking that they can just run over us and do whatever they want to. I'm just, you just get fed up. And I know the masses of people are fed up with this city and how it's being run, not only downtown, but here in Highland Park. Um, the city council act like they done lost their mind. They can't even get along with the mayor. And he was giving them a proposal the other night for the benefit of the city as a whole. I mean, it's just sickening. These people are, to me, on city council and all, is only in there for themselves and not for the benefit of the whole.
868-0342, 868-4336. Call us and tell us what you think about why the voting across, certainly across the county, we've got results across Michigan and other primary elections that occurred across the United States of America. And the
Yes.
voting numbers are lower and lower and lower every time there's an election. Caller, you on the air. Tell us what you think about this question.
Hello?
Yes, I was just thinking about this question. I had asked quite a few senior citizens,
Yes.
and they saying that they're upset, they're depressed because they food stamps down to $16,
Right.
and they just upset about what's going on in the city, and they're supposed to be trying to get them out of the senior citizens high rises and that. So
Yes.
that's one point. They just get to the point they just depressed.
But
Yeah,
just
yeah,
on that
yeah.
matter alone, seniors have to understand that they just can't just get depressed. It's time to get even. We were not able to have senior citizen buildings until we took to the streets. Fighting for decent and affordable housing for seniors and low-income people. And so, it's the same thing with this government. They have that man at the helm. One of his thing is to get rid of seniors' apartments. I mean, he doesn't care because he doesn't have to worry about nothing like that. So, in order to get something, you got to go get it. And I'm not saying go get it in the sense that begging. We got this campaign coming about, the moral, what is it?
Moral Mondays.
We're talking about bringing forth again
A real
the poor
a
people's
speaker.
campaign, because poverty is on the increase and death is on the increase.
And say something, Marion, about the reason the name hasn't changed, Poor People's Campaign. And where did that come from?
That came from Dr. Martin Luther King, and because he also was looking at the question of poverty and the economic struggle at that particular time. It's worse now because we have people out here now, Maureen, that would never be able to work.
Well, let me see, what day was that? That was Thursday. I attended a New Detroit meeting. And this was the 50th anniversary of the first New Detroit meeting. And J.L. Hudson was the speaker at this meeting.
Why they didn't invite none of us?
This was a board meeting.
I don't care. They wanted us to come down there when they wanted to be supported.
Well, no, they didn't.
No, yes, they
no,
did in
they
the beginning.
just said that, but they didn't.
No,
They didn't want you there.
They
you know?
invited people then.
Well, let me tell you now what happened. So I'm at the meeting, and J.L. Hudson, one of the original board members of
I remember
New
him.
Detroit,
Uh-huh.
was there, and it was a very sanitized and quiet.
Yeah.
And Glenn Wash was there, and Glenn jumping up and down even now. And the whole conversation was the differences that has happened from the time that the New Detroit organization started up until now, and it's 50 years later. Now, I'll finish this on the other side of this comment. Caller, you're on the air. Thank you for waiting, and thank you for calling Ask Welfare Rights. You're on the air.
Yes, hi. Hello to both of you all.
Hey.
How you doing? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, this is Belinda. How you all doing?
Oh,
Okay.
good. Oh, Belinda.
Okay, this is what, every election, even in between, I still be trying to do my little math, even if I have to use my calculator. Okay, now, I was told today at the clerk's office there were 65,110 people that voted. She did not say official or unofficial. So I decided to call later on, hours later. Then I got the total of 65,072. Okay, now every time we have election, they always say that the totals are they're unofficial. Am I right?
That's right.
Right.
Okay. But now they don't say how many people voted, right? Certain percentage.
No,
So-
it's some numbers on here, and it changes. For the next 2-3 days, it's probably gonna change. But they tell you
Okay.
exactly how many voted.
Okay. But
Then-
it shouldn't change at all. And this is why you can tell me I'm wrong now. Only thing that I would want to know, which are other things too, is how many absentee ballots that they received at the clerk's office. Now, they have to count each one they received, right?
That's right.
And they also know how many people physically went into the polling site
That's right.
and requested a ballot, right?
That's right.
Okay, so that total should be already not unofficial. It should be official
Okay, I
when
hear
it
you. I
comes
hear
to the
you.
percentage.
I hear
Okay?
you.
We agree with
Okay. So the other issue is this here. People, if you ever notice, you can find a lot of people, I'm not including you all now, that will tell you who could talk to the public. They will tell you after the election how many people showed up. But they have the avenue to encourage people every day, every other day, or every month to get out and vote. Because if they are not doing that, how do they think that people, just say, if people are listening to you and they can hear the totals of the people who didn't vote or who did vote,
Yes.
they will be listening to you and know to get out and vote. Am I saying that right?
I understand what you're saying, and you're raising an outstanding point. When Coleman Young Sr. was in office, and
Right.
I bet it would be interesting to go back and look at, when he first ran, was it 1973? When he first
Yeah,
ran,
the
something like
70s,
that.
right.
And to look
You're
at what and I don't know if those numbers were as precise as they are today, but what percentage of voters in the city of Detroit were registered and what percentage of those registered voters voted. Because there's something odd about the numbers, and Miss Belinda, this is across the nation.
Right,
In
it is.
every city, urban, small, the numbers of
Right.
people that are voting is lower and lower and lower.
And
Right.
two people are going
And-
backwards,
and you know what
Belinda.
else? And let me say this too. Okay, now what I'm saying, I'm not going to say it last because people have seen this themselves. Now the city clerk, the clerk's offices, they have, since now we have Facebook, they can use their sponsor where they could be every day, every other day, telling people to get out to vote because there's more people on
On
Facebook than there are on anything else.
Yeah.
But I noticed in this race, when it came to the new machine, You saw the new machine.
Yes,
and
I
then you
did.
might have saw a few more posts about getting out and selecting your candidate, which is supposed to then vote for your candidate.
Uh-huh.
So all of this modern Facebook, people shouldn't have said they didn't know. But they didn't know because not even the candidates themselves didn't have it. I mean, elected officials.
I
Even with
understand.
telling people to get out and vote.
Yeah,
And I'm
come
going
like
to
a
make this my
campaign.
last thing.
I
You know how they
understand.
always tell you that the incumbent has raised a lot of money for their campaign. But the way I feel about it, if an incumbent has served the citizens would be at the voting polls before it opened up,
That's right.
so that they could make sure they get that candidate back in. Am I right or wrong?
No, you're
I
right.
think you're right. We agree.
So they should stop saying. See, they say that because the next person in line, you know, they're not going to be able to raise all that money, but actually sometimes that money is used against us. Okay? So if you are already serving people, it doesn't take any. Because you serving people
Same thing,
represents
Marion,
the votes that you're going to get to get you back in. And I want to tell you all, I appreciate you because you know how long-winded I am. I want you all to have a wonderful evening and a wonderful weekend.
And thank you so
Thank
very
you
much.
for calling. It's so good to hear
Uh-huh.
your voice.
All right. Caller, you've been waiting. Thank you for your patience and thank you for calling Ask Welfare Rights.
Good evening, ladies.
And
Good
good evening.
evening.
Oh,
Who is that?
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. We can hear you.
Okay, I went to the poll after 3 o'clock in the evening, me and my husband. We was number 31 and 32. And I said, this is a disgrace.
Yes, it is a disgrace.
My husband told me, do not clown, please. I will flag all these cards. He said, not today. It's unbelievable how we don't participate.
Yeah.
Mrs. Marion and Mrs. Maureen, it breaks my heart.
Yeah.
And I tell my niece, and she just had a birthday. I said, you make sure you go and vote for her.
This is going to require some analysis. And I
Yes,
know
ma'am.
people are already thinking about it and looking at it. But why do you think people are not voting in huge numbers?
Well, I think it's have a lot to do with not being educated. We took civics in high school. I took it and got straight A's in social studies. I tried to motivate my friends. They would always say, she is crazy. And I told them back in 1969, we were going to have a black president. They thought I was crazy. My mother thought I was crazy. But if you know history, you dedicate yourself to the facts, you can also predict the future.
All right,
I
caller.
am so thankful for you two people. Miss Maureen, I called down to the office, and that's my phone number, so I can
So she could what?
read Michigan Constitution. Has totally been violated against our children.
I'm behind. I'm about 3 days
Hey,
behind still.
girl, let me tell you.
Yeah, I'm
I would never
catching
do
up.
anything with you, sweetheart. Never. That's what you're up against. It's very frustrating. Love you.
All right.
Women so very, very much.
All right, dear. Thank you for calling, okay?
Keep
Yes, ma'am.
keep
All right,
on
now,
fighting.
thank you so much. Caller, you've been waiting. Thank you for your patience, and thank you for calling Ask Welfare Rights. You are on the air.
It's sad to say that he who controls the most green controls how people think, because as long as they control the media's mouthpiece, then there goes the people that are not critical thinkers in the first place.
Yeah.
Good
So
point.
they throw their hands up in the air, or they just continue to vote their own demise, one or the other. Thank you for taking my call.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you.
you so much. You know, Marion, I mean, this is a question that has to be, and people are looking at it and thinking about it already, but this is a national trend. And one of the things I was looking at when trying to pull these figures down are the numbers of people that vote in Greece, number of people that vote in England, the number of people that vote in the African continents and some of the countries there. and then you compare those numbers to what happens in elections here,
But
you know.
see,
Just a
Mo,
minute, caller.
for one thing, some of those folks are just beginning to vote and have died and fought. You know, our people didn't forgot what we had to give up in order to vote and that type of stuff, and that was people's lives. And it's getting back to that. So, you know, pretty soon they're going to say, well, just a percentage of these people need to vote because the rest of the people are not interested. And God forbid if they say, well, only you can vote, those that have a work card or something like that. So, you know, we have to be aware about where we're going these days and use every tool that we can to make sure that we are fighting for water, Maureen.
And
Just
fighting for
water.
survival, you know.
Because
all
when you
these
see
points.
these type of
Just a moment,
numbers,
caller. Yeah.
this gives the folks that's been trying to privatize our water the opportunity to press forward and make sure they can privatize this water.
Caller, thank you for your patience. You are on the air.
Yes. Hello again. I just called the first time to say I was a lady who called who couldn't vote.
Yes.
And I want to address your question of why people are not voting. Okay?
Yeah, what do you
Me,
think?
myself, I'm sorry?
What do you think?
Yeah. I've always voted. But in the last few years, I'm almost ready to give up, especially after my experience on primary day. And you want to know why people aren't voting? It's because it's being made more difficult, especially young people. People don't have time. I work. I don't know. I guess a lot of people work, but they don't have time to run around trying to find the right information. They don't have time to run around trying to get to their polling place. There's supposed to be information out there for us, and there's supposed to be a concise way to do this. So I don't know much about Janice Winfrey. I don't know much about her, but I guess that someone is running against her, and I hope that if they do, they win and change the system. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, caller.
Very much. Maureen, that's a interesting thing I meant to mention there.
Interesting point of
But very important what she said. And the lady prior to that said, you know, why do they wait to the last minute to change the machines? Or why do they wait to the last minute and know that they done messed up some of these polls? And people shouldn't have to go to a poll and not have the ability to vote because that's not their fault. They got the stuff in on time, but they suffer the penalty of the folks that's supposed to be running the voting machine.
Well, let me say this. All of the candidates that ran for clerk, and two of them are moving ahead, meaning that their names are going to be on a ballot. But all of the folks that ran for clerk, what do you think about this, Miriam? And I've said this 100,000 times. The federal organization in this country that knows every address is the United States Post Office.
That's right.
That mail clerk knows everybody and where everybody lives. And I can't understand if the vote, we vote on Tuesday, the 3rd or whatever. Well, how about this? 30 days before, 45 days before, we can make it 45 days or 30 days. No mail is delivered on that day.
That's a good
And
idea.
on that day, the post office is empowered to take the election material, everybody's name, their background, their resume, their picture, and the whole 9 yards, put in a folder, and take it and deliver it to every address.
Oh,
That's
yes.
all that's delivered on that day. Okay, don't do no mail. Mail comes the following day. And on that folder, what it says is
Precinct.
all of your information, your precinct information, your address, where
Your
you have to
name.
go to vote, all of that. But on the other side, Marion, it says in 30 days, the mailman or the mail person is coming to pick this envelope up. Alrighty? And it's listed. They're coming on the 1st, the 2nd, the 3rd, or the following month. So you got 3 days to get it in, but you've had 30 days to read it and look at it and understand it and make some
Call
decisions.
your organization
you know,
to find out
all
what
of
are
that.
we doing. Talk to your children and what have you, because my kids always call me and we have a discussion on this voting thing. So you give your it shows you how important.
That would be
That
so
means-
easy.
yeah.
And
But you
so
know
when
what?
they come back to pick it up, okay, it gets picked up on those 1, 2, or 3 days. Mail is still going, and the mailman knows that on this block right here, Miss Simpson didn't put her envelope in the mail slot. He delivers the mail and knocks on the door. What's the matter here?
Miss Simpson passed away, Maureen.
Now we know. And the mailman can write something down. The mail person can write something down. Marion, we can get 95% of all the people that vote in Detroit, that vote in Highland Park, or that live in Highland Park, or that live in Hamtramck, and every place else.
We can
Just
get
let the
people
post
throughout the
office
United
do it.
States, Maureen.
And it can be done quickly, even if you decide to look at your envelope and you don't like anybody. Keep it in there and give it back, and we would know. I don't know why this is so hard to do.
Because they make
You
it
know?
hard on purpose. On purpose, because they don't want people to participate in this process, to elect people that should be representing them, and then you get some of those nuts into the position, and that turns people around.
Well,
But
it does, because people say it doesn't matter when we vote Democrats in or Republicans in, things
because
don't
they
change.
represent the interests of the
you know?
corporation
They-
and not us.
Or sometimes they represent their own interests.
That
they
in
only
the final
interested-
analysis, that's who they represent.
But and I got this idea from my dad. That
That's
worked
right.
at
Your
the
man
post
was
office.
supposed to
Yeah,
marry.
my father was worked for the United States Post Office, and he used to talk about it then. Tell my mother we have to go and vote, and she would say, "Oh, I'm cooking dinner," or whatever the case may be, and he would say, "No, this is our duty." Listening
Yeah.
to this conversation, and she would say, "All right, I'll be ready in just a few minutes. We'll make this a family affair. We all get in the car and watch my mother and father vote." And my dad would always say, "It would be so much easier if they just let us do this." And the postal clerks just deliver the postal
And then
the,
we won't have as
information
much
just for that one
problem
day. No,
that we're having
it
now.
would be so easy. So simple if we
and
did
they,
it that
they
way.
can make it so simple.
Call you on the air. Thank you for waiting, and thank you for calling
Yes,
Ask
ma'am.
Welfare Rights.
I'm calling back.
Yes, go right ahead.
Yes, ma'am, to engage the young people. I act and tell my little people, pick up the trash. This is your Detroit. And they were so happy. This is what you instill in your children. And they say, "Oh, yes, Auntie, I pick up the paper. Because it's in Detroit." They would say, "This is my Detroit." It must be stored back into our children. I don't call them kids. They are my children, my little people. I'm telling you, they made me so proud. And my niece named one of her babies after me. And that baby is excelling. You hear me? You meet her, she's going to say, "Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am," to you. I teach them the first person you respect is yourself. But I was taught the way you speak to a person, you would demand they respect equally. And my niece said, "Oh, my girls are twice as large as you, Auntie." I said, "That's okay." But they are so like their mother, so special to me.
All right.
I have no children, but I instill some values into my nieces.
Okay.
I love you guys.
All right.
Love
Thank you
you
very
back.
much. All right.
Have
Thank
a
you.
nice
Now.
weekend.
Just hold up your head. And there's more people for you than against you, sweetheart.
And thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
You're welcome.
Mhm.
Love you guys.
All right. Uh-oh. I
What did
think
you
I
do?
accidentally hung up. I hit the wrong button.
Call
Sorry.
back, caller.
Sorry. Okay, so back to this voting situation. I think a lot of people are of that opinion. I thought when the New Era organization first started to blossom, and we heard a lot. And I remember that idea that they had where they were going to go door to door and pass out some cards about information and they were going to create a voting block, get 15 to
I remember.
20,000 people. Let's all vote as a block. And I thought, what a great idea, you know? But it's along the same lines, and I think the other person that called, and certainly the position that you're saying, Marion, it shouldn't be this difficult to vote. It shouldn't be this hard. And
That's a
you know,
conscious thing,
yeah,
Marie.
whoever it is who becomes the clerk, you know, the residents, and you know, all of us don't have to do everything. I'm looking at that statement, and caller, we're coming right to you, that Jen made. Don't be upset because there's not that many people here right now. All we need is a few to stand up and lead the way. And I thought, that's such a wonderful thing to say. Caller, you're on the air. We're down to our last 5 minutes. You're on the air. Caller, you there?
Good evening.
Yes, good evening.
Just checking in, and you guys are a rainbow of love. You are so beautiful, both of you. It's amazing.
Thank you.
I'll let you go, and maybe about 12 hours from now, Reverend Holly, and you can check with him. And because you did surprise me last week when you called him. You said you had the day off last Saturday.
I did.
I'm going to hang up. I know, Maureen, it's so much junk out there, but let the love prevail.
I know.
Thank you.
All right, now
Thank you
thank
for
you so
calling.
much.
Right.
And thank you very much. Caller, you're on the air. You've been
Okay,
patient.
it's Belinda. Okay, I'm gonna say this real fast.
Mhm.
They need to take the death certificate. You know, when people die, and is reported to the health department.
Yes.
They need to take those and they need to hook it up with the clerk's office, and that way they will be able to remove people who are no longer here.
Okay,
on the
now,
record.
hold on, Belinda.
No,
Hold on.
yeah.
Okay.
What health department are you referring to?
Okay, you know I'm trying to talk fast because I know you're down for it. The vital statistics.
Yeah, but wait a minute. What health department
okay,
are you
just like-
talking about?
Okay, I'm gonna use like Herman Kiefer.
We don't have
ABC.
we don't have a health department here anymore.
Haven't you?
Okay,
You
okay,
gotta
okay,
come
okay, but
outside
hold on,
more often.
Hold on. But they are, listen, you know, funeral homes, they have to go.
Yeah,
And
I
they
know.
have to get the information before they can even do a body.
Okay, but wait a minute,
You
wait a
know,
minute, wait a
sending
minute.
me
Wait a
down
minute.
there.
Wait.
Belinda.
You going the wrong way. Let's start at the front of this. What would
Okay, I'm
happen,
trying-
Miss Belinda, if
Uh-huh.
all the postal carriers, every male person, drops
Mm-hmm.
off the ballot information, the resumes, the history, who's running for what, and they all drop them off at the same time over a 2-day period. No mail delivered on that Monday. Every male person takes the information you need to vote and takes it to you. And now you have 30 days to look at it, read it, call your organization and everything else. And in 30 days, the mail clerk comes back to get your envelope. What do you think?
Well, I tell you, now we know that that is a government entity, and they're not going to stop mail from flowing 6 days a week.
I didn't say
So,
6
I don't
days.
didn't say
I
nothing.
said
No,
6 days.
No. This is what I'm
I
saying.
said one day.
This is what I'm saying. They cannot take a day or two and discontinue mail delivery
Belinda,
to do that.
Belinda, you got to think out of the box.
Belinda, they do whatever they want to do. Look at that nut
Well,
that's
wait a
at
minute.
the
But guess
look,
what?
look
I'm
who's
laughing at you because you know what?
You got to
are so
think
right.
out of the box.
They do.
Belinda. Who's running the government now? Look who's at the helm
Wait a
now.
minute. You know what? You all got me at this on this conversation. You all are so right.
They do what they want to do.
When
Guess
they
what?
want to do it.
Wait a minute. Guess what? This is one time I shouldn't have put my mouth in motion.
And
Because
goodbye, Miss Belinda.
Thanks
Goodbye.
for calling.
Okay,
Thanks
bye-bye.
for calling.
Caller, you on the air? Caller, you there?
Yes, ma'am. I just thank you for
Okay,
being
quickly now,
who you
quickly.
are. Yes, I just send you positive energy.
All right, thank you
Stay
so much,
focused.
dear.
Hey, I'm sending all the love that I have to you.
Thank you
You hear
very
me?
much. We need it, but you got to still say
Hey, I'm
goodbye.
coming down there next week.
All right.
No doubt about it, sweetheart.
All right, then.
All right,
thank you.
for calling.
All right, Marion,
Oh,
you have
you are more than welcome, sweetheart. Both of you.
Marion
you.
has
Hey.
Marion has 30 seconds to say goodbye.
Again,
Oh,
Nick,
Miss Marion gonna tell me hello.
No, she gonna tell you goodbye.
No, she's gonna tell me hello.
thank you for calling.
All right, go ahead.
Uh,
Marion.
I'm just messing with you. That's all. I want to see them beautiful smiles. and know that more people are for you
ma'am,
than against you.
ma'am,
Because my great grandma taught me.
we are at
this
the
year from the
end.
heart.
We are at
the
the end of the broadcast. Say goodbye.
Call us next
Bye,
Friday.
baby.
Goodbye.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye, girl.
Listen, we hope to see you next Friday, and we'll have more information for the upcoming events around the Poor People's March, because you will have to become a part of that.
And anybody who is interested in training for this event, we're talking about September 5th, that's on a Tuesday, and September 6th, that's on a Wednesday, and it's by invitation only. If you want to be involved in the training and the class, you'll have to call us down at Welfare Rights, because it's limited and only certain days are going to be open. So we're going to talk to you about more information as the days go on.
And that includes teenagers also.
That's right. Now, Mr. Tyson, if you're still in town, I'm looking for you. And Lord willing, and the creek don't rise, we will see you next Friday. Goodbye.